Legends, I hope you're all fantastic. Today on 5-Minute Licks, I want to show you how you can add some chromaticism to your blues scale and pentatonic licks in the style of Steve Morse and John Petrucci. I recently did a demo for the Synergy 2CP preamp module, and I played this. Probably inspired in no part because I pulled out my JP7 for that particular solo, and I thought while I was doing that, it would be a cool way to play around with some of my favorite sounds. And you hear John do this all the time, but I'm pretty certain John got it from Steve Morse. And I want to show you two ways you can think about doing this. Maybe we'll start in the key of A, and I am on a 7 string, just ignore the low B on here for now. Take your standard shape 1, A minor pentatonic like this. Now, I always struggled and continue to struggle with that kind of like Eric Johnson, Joe Bonamassa, 2-note per string, descending pentatonic thing. I put lots and lots of work into it, but I feel like I don't get as much payoff as when I do 3-note per string things. So you can take the Steve Morse approach here, because I remember reading an interview with Steve where he said he had a similar thing. So all he did was basically fill in the blanks. So I would do it something like this. I'm gonna add fret 7 on the E string, the B string, and the high E string, which is going to give us a Dorian style sound, but then I'll just fill in fret 6 on all the other strings there. So we get this kind of Steve Morse scale, if you like. Which you could also see as like a blues scale plus a couple of extra notes. Alternatively, when you get onto that G string, you could play fret 5, 6, and 7, and then play fret 5, 7, and 8 in that order. So you would get this. And I like doing like a split sixes style sequence on this, where you repeat every string except for the lower string. So we'd get this sequence. This is the first 5-minute lick sequence. The great thing about this now is if you know a bunch of 3-note per string sequences, you know, from the Bible that is Paul Gilbert's Intense Rock, you could start applying them to this particular setup. Another thing that I really like to do that again is straight from the Steve Morse playbook would be to basically think of an outline of a pentatonic scale like so. We're going to play fret 5 on the E string, then we'll play 3, 5, and 7 on the A, then 5 and 7 on the D. I call this the phrasing shape, and I use this all the time when I'm improvising. I should probably do a separate video about it, but we've got these notes to start with. And all we're going to do is we're going to give it an approach with a chromatic. So fret 3, 4, and 5 on the low E, 3, 4, and 5 on the A, then 5, 6, and 7 on the A, 5, 6, and 7 on the D. Then you can repeat that in octaves. So we would get this as the first octave. Something like that anyway. And like I said, if you've already got the kind of playing architecture in there already to do a bunch of 3-note per string stuff, this just works really, really well. One last little idea, again, from Paul Gilbert's Intense Rock, is he plays a chromatic scale without missing any notes, 3 notes per string. So the fingering, if you started on an E, would be like 12, 13, 14, then it's 10, 11, 12, 8, 9, 10, then it would be 6, 7, 8, and then 5, 6, 7, and then 3, 4, 5. So Paul does it way better than I ever will, but you get this, and I'll play you all out on this particular example. If you have any other questions, just let me know in the comments. If you want to support the channel by joining my Patreon or buying some music that I make, check the video description. Let's see if I can do this Paul Gilbert inspired Steve Morse, John Petrucci-ism. Something like that anyway. Have a great day.